About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was perfect. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how dominant that part might be, that was not entirely human. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. I will never forget the first time I saw them. There were 5 of them. They weren't talking, and they weren't eating, though they each had plenty of food to spare. They didn't look anything alike, and yet they were all exactly alike. Every one of them was chalky pale. But all this was not why I couldn't look away. I stared, because their faces, so different, so similar, were all devastatingly, inhumanly beautiful. They were faces you never expected to see, except perhaps on the airbrushed pages of a fashion magazine. One in particular caught my eye, the thinner one, the boyish one, the youngest perhaps. I glanced at him. I bit my lip to hide my smile. Then I glanced at him again.
Which one is that?
I asked.
That's Edward. He's gorgeous, of course. But don't waste your time. Apparently none of the girls here are good looking enough for him.
I glanced at him again. His face was turned away, but I thought his cheek appeared lifted, as if he were smiling too. I'd never given much thought to how I'd fall in love, though I'd had reason enough in the last few months. But even if I had, I would not have imagined it like this. I knew that if I'd never gone to the kitchen, I wouldn't be in love now. But, terrified as I was, I couldn't bring myself to regret the decision. When life offers you love so far beyond your expectations, it's not reasonable to grieve when it comes to an end. I didn't sleep well that night, and, facing my pallid reflection in the mirror, I was forced to admit that I was lying to myself. Of course he wasn't interested in me, I thought angrily, my eyes stinging. I didn't relate well to people my age. Maybe the truth was that I didn't relate well to people, period. I wasn't interesting, and he was. Interesting, and brilliant, and mysterious, and perfect, and beautiful. Eventually, I drifted off. I was 99.9% sure I was dreaming.
Quick, wet boy diving too deep for coins. All of your street light eyes wide on my plastic toys. Then when the cops close the
I woke with a start. Just a dream, I told myself. It was only a dream. I heard his door slam. I flew to the kitchen, and there he was. All agitation dissolved as soon as I looked at his face, calm taking its place. I breathed a sigh of relief. Yesterday's fears seemed very foolish with him here. I deliberated where I stood, wanted to run to him badly. He held his arms open for me.
I need another human minute.
I admitted. I skipped to the bathroom, my emotions unrecognizable. I didn't know myself. The face in the mirror was practically a stranger, eyes too bright, hectic spots of red against my cheekbones. I got ready, and then half ran back to the kitchen. I looked over to see him facing away from me.
This way?
His eyes questioned me. I looked at him closer, and I stifled a gasp. The smooth white skin of his throat flowed uninterrupted over the marble contours of his chest. His perfect musculature no longer merely hinted at behind concealing clothes. He was too perfect, I realized with a piercing stab of despair. There was no way this godlike creature could be meant for me. He led the way to a grassy knoll. I tried to keep my eyes away from his perfection as much as possible, but I slipped often. Each time, his beauty pierced me through with sadness. In the sunlight, Edward was shocking. I couldn't get used to it, though I'd been staring at him all morning. His skin, white despite the faint flush, literally sparkled like thousands of tiny diamonds were embedded in the surface. He lay on the tile perfectly still, his door wide open over his sculpted, incandescent chest, his scintillating chest bare. a perfect statue carved in some unknown stone, smooth like marble, glittering like crystal. Hesitantly, I reached out one finger and stroked the back of his shimmering arm. I marveled again at the perfect texture, satin smooth, cool as stone.
Don't leave me. Do you swear you won't leave me?
I said in a broken voice.
I'm not going anywhere.
I touched his face.
I love you more than anything in the whole world combined. Isn't that enough?
I leaned down to press my lips once more to his cold throat.
Yes, it is enough. Enough for forever.